The window behind me is the John West window. It's important because John West is the founder of this parish. He arrived on October the 14th, 1820, and set up shop. He also arrived wearing 3 hats. He came as chaplain to the Hudson's Bay Company, he came as missionary to the indigenous people, and he came as pastor to the Selkirk settlers. There are some glaring errors in this window, but we forgive them because the window was made in England by a firm called Cakebread and Roby. Doesn't that have a lovely Dickensian ring to it? When I was doing research on the windows, I called Cakebread and Roby and I said, tell me about your windows. And they said, you have one. And I said, well, actually, we have 2. And they said, gosh, we haven't made windows since 1948. I said, well, what do you make now? And they said, we make kitchen and bathroom fittings, which I thought was a bit of a come down from stained glass. In 1817, the Selkirk settlers had met with Lord Selkirk and asked him to send them a minister of their own faith, which of course would have been Presbyterian. What they got was an Anglican. So they were left with something of a problem. Did they worship with the Anglicans, iffy at best? Or did they swim the river and worship with the Roman Catholics in the church established by Father Emile Provencher in 1818? The Presbyterians stayed and worshipped in the Anglican church. Much to their dismay, John West refused to change any word of the Anglican liturgy, which upset some of them. However, you will notice that in this window we have John, obviously preaching or leading a prayer service. Under his raised arm, you can see a small replica of the original church. And then on the other side, you have representation of his congregation, indigenous people. And I imagine the fellow in the moleskin vest and the tricorn hat represents both the Hudson's Bay and the Selkirk settlers. Now, there's the first glaring error in this window is the fact that 2 of the indigenous gentlemen are wearing war bonnets. First of all, war bonnets were not worn in this part of the world. They would have got caught up in the small trees. Second, there is no indigenous person in the world who would be discourteous enough to wear a war bonnet to what is obviously a prayer service. The second major mistake is in the banner dedicating the window, and it says John West, first Protestant missionary, Rupert's Land, 1820. It's the word Protestant that is incorrect. Anglicans are not now, nor have they ever been, Protestant. We are the Reformed Catholic Church of England, and that's our whole aegis. So why the word Protestant? Protestant, you might be interested to know, is actually a political label. In 16th century, one divided the world into Roman Catholics and Protestants. We didn't protest anything. Henry VIII just wanted to run the Church of England himself and not have it run by bishops from Rome. And he wanted, of course, to get a divorce, and that's the old story. So I'm not crazy about this window, but I do forgive them because it was made in England, and all that the English know about the Wild West is what they've seen in Hollywood films, and there's more John Wayne than John West in that movie.